Dr. Erica Rasher, Chief Financial Wellness Advisor at Beyond Finance. Welcome to the Valder Beebe Show, live out of Dallas, Texas. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm having a great life, and it just got a little better because you've got great information, and I want my audience to know while January is Financial Wellness Month, Americans are starting the new year off with a record amount of debt. I don't want to be a spoiler, but I'm sure you'll be the spoiler, Erica. Let's talk
And
about that 1.223 trillion number. It's just eye-opening. What does that mean in credit card debt and the average American?
yeah, it means record debt means record stress for many families. You're right. That 1.2 trillion figure is absolutely stunning. And it tells us that many families are truly relying on credit cards just to get by. We're not talking luxuries, but for everyday expenses and essentials. And of course, when those balances keep growing, it creates this constant state of pressure and uncertainty. And for the average household, it becomes not just a money issue, but it becomes a mental health issue because that persistent debt, it sure can start to erode that confidence, increase stress, really boost the anxiety that families are feeling, and it makes it just that much harder to plan for the future confidently.
Okay, it's the beginning of the year. People try to assess where they're going to go in the year. They sit down, they look at their financial goals, but it says that 83% of people abandon their financial goals by March.
Yeah, they do. And what's so interesting is, January still feels like it's a reset, but Americans, according to our data, have really stopped believing that it leads to financial change when we set these resolutions. And of course, people aren't failing at resolutions because they're bad at sticking to them, but really it's because goals don't tend to stick around if those goals aren't aligned with a person's values from the get-go. And so if you're listening and you're finding yourself, thinking, I'm ready to give up on my resolutions, maybe dig a little bit deeper to understand what values shape your whys behind your money. Why do you have the attitude you do? Why do you have the beliefs you do? Why do you do the things you do with your money? And then work to address how, understanding your values can ultimately improve your money management and financial wellness well past March.
Okay, so I'm not trying to make this political, but someone has told us that first, instead of $20, you can have $2. That's a value choice, I'm thinking. Someone has told us you can eat one piece of chicken, one piece of broccoli, a tortilla, and something else. That's a value choice. So, are you saying we have the wrong values? And how do
Oh,
we have better values?
yeah, so I think this is such a great question because we need to understand that, sustainable financial change starts with self-understanding. And that's where understanding our values and where they came from can really take center stage in a really beautiful way. And so, often our values are given to us or we inherit them from, the people, places, and things that, raised us, the important grown-ups in our lives and our social structures. And sometimes as we have life experiences, sometimes, we have, life events that really rock our world, death, divorce, maybe we lose a job or our health in some way. And sometimes our financial experiences and our circumstances are different than those who gave us our values. And so there can be a little bit of friction there. And so, really kind of getting to that place where you can be open to change. And, if the beliefs you grew up with don't match your values today because your life experiences were different than somebody else's, it's okay to adjust them. It may take some time, but making choices, like I said, that feel true to you can help ease guilt and shame and really get you to that next chapter of what financial success looks like from your definition. And we don't always have to get rid of, the values that were given us. Sometimes we really love those, but sometimes they become outdated. And that's the power of reflecting on our values. There's no right or wrong. It's adjusting to determine what is right for us in this moment and in our next steps.
I wanted to remind my audience that I'm speaking to Erica Rasur, Dr. Erica Rasur. She's a Chief Financial Wellness Advisor at Beyond Finance. She's a financial advisor and a university professor who turned financial therapist. Dr. Rasur, a place online where people can go and get some information because habits are hard to change. I don't care what they are, good or bad, they're just hard to change.
They can be hard to change, but we're here to help you out with that. So at beyondfinance.com, we've got a really robust financial wellness section that has some free tools, educational resources, and there's even a free money mindset checklist designed to help people reflect on their values and maybe reduce some of that financial stress and that hardness that comes with evaluating and changing and sticking to the financial habits that we so desperately want to start implementing in our lives.
Dr. Erica, this has been very eye-opening and very life-changing, and I hope my audience feels the same way. Thank you for stopping by the Valder Beebe Show and getting us started on the right foot for 2026.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of the Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/Valder Beebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to youtube.com/Valder Beebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.